right. What is up, everybody? This is Fan Addicts, and this is going to be our game club. We are upset, but before that, let's go ahead and let you know who's talking. This is going to be your host, Shelby.
My name is Santos.
Yes, Sergio. That is your
Sergio.
name today.
That's what I mean. Get it wrong every time.
Yeah. Fun fact, underneath this table, I am not wearing pants.
He's wearing pants.
I am actually wearing shorts.
Oh, that's a good point.
Boom. All right.
Short pants.
Let's get into that with a light note, because again, the title of this episode is that we are upset, and later on you will find out why.
There's a lot to be upset about. Let's be happy about.
There's a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about just like a couple of things like Death Stranding, what we know, some Shovel Knight news that I'm pretty excited for.
Dragon Quest.
Yeah, Dragon Quest, which is right around the corner.
My favorite game ever, Cyberpunk.
That Cyberpunk gameplay that we all saw.
50 minutes.
We're going to get into like some other stuff, like the Jacksonville.
Yeah, we are going to talk about that.
Yeah, that's. I feel like that definitely needs to be addressed.
Fortunately, yes.
Yeah, and just a couple of other things. Like I know Xbox is doing a thing.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
it's going to be a good episode.
And let's go ahead and just talk about that right now. Xbox is doing a thing. You were telling me about this earlier today. What's going on?
All access.
Yeah, right. I'm not doing it.
Let me get the actual price breakdown. But essentially, the whole deal is you're leasing an Xbox as well as Xbox Live and the Game Pass. I believe you can do Xbox One S or the Xbox X, and you pay. Let me get the pricing right now. Waiting for my internet to load. Good thing I got that fiber speeds.
Right. Imagine if it was like that slow.
So the Xbox One S is going to be $21.99 per month, 0% interest. Remember, guys, it's always good. 24 for 1 year, and you're saving $130. They're saying if you bought it all separately. The Xbox One X is $34.99 per month, 0% interest for 24 months, and I think you save. They don't say how much you save, but I think it's around. I think it's around $40.
Right,
it's not that much. You don't save that much by doing the X.
You do save like a lot of money, though. I think that's pretty interesting,
and it's pretty cool. I think it's actually a really smart business plan for Microsoft to making. It's going to make their console, which is, if you're following, is losing in the console war.
Yeah.
More accessible to low income families that maybe they don't have $700 to spend now.
Yeah, I kind of wish this was like around back in like my Christmas days,
right,
as a kid.
Yeah, right. It's actually a pretty cool deal. I mean, think about it. You pay $20 a month. And you get a console with online activity and the Game Pass. There's a lot of cool stuff. There's Halo. There's Gears of War. There's Sea of Thieves. And then they also announced, if you're not familiar with Xbox or Microsoft, they announced that any first-party game that's released on the Xbox will be on Game Pass on day one.
Yeah.
So the new Gears of War, the new Halo, anything like that, you have Game Pass will be on there. So that's I think it's so for the whole lease. I
think this is actually like a really smart move for Xbox or Microsoft in general, because they are losing the console wars. If the battle is still going, like now it's more Switch, PlayStation, and PC right now. That's the competitors. But it's a great idea to make this console like more accessible to everyone.
That's the main key.
And that is like, you can win the war if you got the numbers out there. So they're probably still thinking like, we gotta get more people into playing Xbox or buying Xboxes or something like that. And if you just put these in every single household for $20 a month,
it's pretty sweet. So I think I said a year for the X1 S. It's actually 24 months all the way around.
Yeah, so
2 years.
2 years.
2 years
each. That's pretty
dope. You pay it off and you get the services they offer.
Essentially a credit card payment.
Yeah.
Like I think mine minimum is like $25
a month.
So,
It depends how much you have charged on there.
It depends.
Yeah.
But
it goes up from there.
Yeah, essentially. Well, I just got like my second credit card, but yeah.
Oh, wow.
Right?
I got like 7. No, I don't have 7.
You got like 7. You're so financially irresponsible. I live with this guy.
My credit's amazing.
Yeah. But I think that is pretty neat. And I guess we'll just move on to Death Stranding.
Before Akira movie.
Yeah. So how they were talking about like doing Akira like live action?
Yeah.
So what they told us.
So who's they?
It was basically like one of the development team, like the spokesperson for that, like the promoter, because for Death Stranding, they're not allowed to basically say anything. They're all keeping like a very tight lip. And they're just trickling out information as they go. And like, rather than giving us an actual release date, they were like, yeah, it'll come out like before the Akira movie. And I was like, why that specifically?
That's really random.
Right. And the Akira, like, and they didn't even say like what year that is supposed to be. So you had to, if you want this information, like you have to find out when the Akira movie is set to come out.
And
the
you
Akira
did that?
movie is set, yeah, that's what I had to do. So the Akira movie is set to come out in the year 2019.
I don't think it's coming out.
So
then.
Death Stranding is set to come out sometime in 2019.
There's no way. I don't think
But like,
so.
well, you know how much of a troll Kojima is.
Yeah.
Like that. That's
such a
the
random
weird thing
fact.
that he gave us.
I think it was literally a joke.
Yeah, so I think that was pretty funny.
Is the Akira movie even confirmed? Is it even in production?
I don't know. That's what I think is like so freaking
I've heard
hilarious.
about it.
But it's like why the Akira movie specifically?
It's a live action one, right?
Yeah. Like why would you mention that? And you're supposed to be like pushing this? Like it's so ridiculous. But that is the small little bit of information that we got. But then as I was searching through all this, I did find out like a little bit more about what the game possibly is going to be. Nothing about the story. Nothing about the story at all. But the game is supposed to be an action-based kind of game. There is a multiplayer. You're going to be fighting multiplayer and computer AIs. And that was literally all that. They didn't tell you how you're going to fight. They didn't tell you anything like that. But they just said that there will be it's like controlled AIs out in the world by other players as well as computer AIs, and you will be fighting them or confronting them in numerous conflicts. And like Kojima believes that this is going to be his best work yet.
Okay,
and that is
going
why.
back a little bit for like 2 minutes. I just looked up Akira movie for an article for April 10th. It's basically like unconfirmed as hell.
I know that's what I'm
so
saying.
I'm
like
it's such as that means nothing to anybody,
right? But that was what I found, and then it was hilarious. Like that's what?
Okay, thanks. But
this is all the information that we have
I'm
on
still
Death
super
Stranding.
skeptical on this game. Honestly, like as much as I thought the trailer was interesting. Or like the gameplay trailer that they showed.
This is the first time that I've ever seen Norman Reedus in a ponytail, and like the only time you see it is in the game.
I'm still so skeptical. I'm not convinced. Like the gameplay, I was just like, wow. We discussed it on there, but my interpretation was, wow, he walks a lot.
Yeah, like I did remember that one cutscene where he had a gun, but they never even showed him like shooting it, and it looked like it was all pure cinematic. But we don't know anything, and that I just think that little note was hilarious. Like, no, Death Stranding is set to come out before the Akira movie, but it's like the Akira movie's not even confirmed.
Yeah,
that's hilarious to me. Next up, we have Shovel Knight. I know me and you, we love that game, don't we, Sergio? We love playing that game.
I love Shovel Knight. I also love playing multiplayer because you just troll your friends. It's a great time.
Yeah, so they're making the odd decision to double up on DLC because, like, I know everybody's still waiting on that Treasure Trove DLC to come out, and that's the Treasure Trove DLC is where you play as King Knight.
Yeah.
So we already have Spectre Knight,
and
we have Plague Knight, Shovel Knight, and of course, like King Knight is going to be. I mean, hopefully, like every character is going to be playable. I think that'd be cool, but King Knight is going to be another playable character, and they decided to announce another DLC or game type, and it is Shovel Knight Showdown, which is a Smash Brothers-esque kind of
in like the 16-bit style, or
everything's going to be in that style. I don't know,
down.
like because we already like practically fight each other.
I feel like it's gonna be like in like that Nerdhog game or Nethog.
Where you're just like trolling the crap out of each other. Because I mean, we already practically do that. Like when we're playing, we just keep jumping on top of each other's heads and stuff like that. I think that is hilarious. Both of these are set to come out at the same time on April 9th. And I think that is pretty dope. I am super excited. April 9th of 2019, of course. And I love Shovel Knight.
I think it's a really interesting fact, just like as an indie developer, like most indie games, like they come out with that sweet first game.
Yeah.
And then they go right into the next project. And a lot of times, if they get a lot of attention for their first project, it's really hard for them to go on to the next one. You know what I'm saying? Like there's usually a different name. It's a totally, not a lot of times it's not sequels. When there is sequels, they're not as big. Binding of Isaac and other games like that, Super Meat Boy.
Yeah, Binding of Isaac is making a comeback.
Yeah,
too, by the way.
yeah. But a lot of these games, I feel like, in my opinion, like you heard about them with their first iteration, and then after that, it was kind of forgotten among the masses of great indie games.
Yeah.
So I think it's really smart, like kind of from a business standpoint, for Shovel Knight to make this great game, the developers behind it, and just continue to update it.
Yeah.
Because honestly, updates have been really solid. The game is amazing, and honestly, I'm looking forward to the update. And
I'm super excited.
I'm much more inclined to pay $10, $5 for these incremental updates instead of getting, like a $40, $50 Shovel Knight 2 or whatnot.
Yeah, well, the cool thing about like the indie games is if you already support them, most of the DLC that comes out is free.
Yeah, I think I got the treasure trove for like less than $30.
I got mine for 10.
Yeah, it was like I remember it was really cheap. It was on sale I got it for my Switch. It was on sale. And I think it was $24.99 on the Switch when it first came out, something like that. And I was like, this is cool, and honestly, it's super fun, worth it. I have a great time.
And then if you already own the treasure trove, then these next 2 DLCs are more than likely just going to be free or just considered updates at that point. Because I remember I already had the Spectre of Torment, and it was just like, update. And I was like, oh, cool, I got a whole new game to practically play. And what is so cool about that is that every character plays their own unique style. Like, I don't have to worry about, like, this is being the same exact levels. It's like, no, you're playing a different game, essentially, with these different characters. I think that is so great versus Mega Man and Zero comparison. And this is totally like a Mega Man-esque game. So I'm super excited for Shovel Knight.
It's a side-scrolling platformer.
Yeah. And speaking of indie games, Owlboy's creator, Simon Anderson, came out with this really epic trailer for it's a fan-made trailer, by the way, for this a direct sequel to a very famous game called Chrono Cross. The trailer he made took him 2 months to make in the new pixel style that we all love and enjoy from Owlboy. It's called Chrono Break. I really recommend that you guys look it up.
Okay.
It was epic. It's only like a 2-minute trailer, but it's like he came out and said like, yeah, no, I just wanted to do this because it was fun and I really like Chrono Cross. It's not going like he came out and it was just like, it's not going to be a game. I'm sorry to tease everybody. I just thought like, since I have the resources, I might as well make this. And I was like, dude, that's dope. Like people who have the time to do these animated things or projects. And they just like I like when you see creators who are fans of the game come out and do stuff like this.
That is really cool. It's like it's I bet the people who made Chrono Trigger, it's a fan made for Chrono Trigger, right? Or no, Chrono Cross.
Well, Chrono Trigger. Chrono Cross was another. It's part of the Chrono series.
Okay, I think it's really. I'm sure they're flattered coming from another game developer that would spend the time to create it. That's really cool.
It is funny you say that.
Yes.
Because back in 2004, Square actually shut down a fan-made game.
Well, I mean, I think there's a slight difference between a fan-made game that's taking their assets.
Profit. No, it was zero profit.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as like it could start. That's how a lot of games start out, like no profit, and then it turns into something. So. I mean, it's kind of like this. Like they're making a trailer for a game. They're not. It has nothing to do with a game. You know what I'm saying? Or, I mean, it's not like there's a huge difference. It's 2 different mediums.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
so I got mixed up.
I just thought it was like
different mediums. One is like an appreciation thing, and one is like, hey guys, that's our job. That's what we do.
Yeah.
When this creator is doing something that like, we would have never dabbled in that. You're not making money off of it. Hopefully not a big deal to them. Yeah. Hopefully more flattering than anything. But going and making a video game sequel for like that sounds like you're crossing the line.
But that's like
it's
super
cool.
Popular.
It's cool.
Mega Man has like going back to Mega Man X. That game has so many different fan made video games coming out.
A lot of games do. I mean, Fallout the mod series is insane. I think they're making like a New Vegas 2 or something, and that got shut down. But you also got to think about a lot of guys making these games, these fan made sequels, end up getting hired by the companies anyways. So it is really cool, but like you can't expect to get away with it.
Right.
Like and especially nowadays with the internet and how things just completely go viral and blow up, and you can't expect just to kind of take assets from another developer's games and or movies or whatever you're doing and expect to use that for free. It's just how it is. But it's really my favorite part takeaway from it is when you hear about these guys are like, I'm working for a Minecraft company now. Microsoft owns it because I just played Minecraft and modded Minecraft and whatever game it may be. And I think that's probably my favorite takeaway from those.
I think that's pretty cool too. But the weird thing about that though is like Simon Anderson, the creator of Owlboy again, he's already like renowned. Owlboy was such a great game, and it still is. I'd play it if you haven't. Because he's so like well known, this trailer's only been out for probably less than a week, and I'm hoping that he doesn't receive like any sort of retaliation from Square because that very same thing could happen. They can take offense 100%, to that.
100%.
Yeah, they can just be like, no, Owlboy's ours now. like imagine that would be super super scary. And I love Square Enix. I love Square. I have tattoos from Square and all that stuff.
But Square doesn't mess around, though.
Yeah, they do not mess around. Yeah. Like they're very possessive, and as they should be. These are their creations and stuff like that, or stuff that they decided to push out there or help support. And somebody else who's not part of their company is dabbling their toes in the water.
Assets,
using their assets. Like that would be terrible. And that's very scary. Mm-hmm. But since we're on the note of Chrono Cross or Chrono Break or Chrono Resurrection and Chrono Trigger, the art from that was done by Akira Toriyama. So if anybody's like familiar with Akira Toriyama's work, he is the artist the artist and creator for Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball Super. The reason why I brought him up is Dragon Quest is right around the corner, and a lot of people are super, super, super excited for that.
Yeah.
This is their 30th anniversary. 30 years of Dragon Quest. How many Dragon Quest games have you played, Sergio?
I have played 0. I've always been interested in the series because I've dabbled in JRPG since a kid. I played Final Fantasy, the American 3. First Fantasy, right, which I think is 6 canon.
Yes, they switched so much back.
It's really weird. So I believe I played Final Fantasy 6. That was my first JRPG. I moved on to some of the Tales games, and I've always been interested in Dragon Quest, but I don't know why. But I mean, not all of them came to America, so it was kind of hard to get into the series in the first place. So bottom line is
it's not as popular out here in the West.
Bottom line is I've seen gameplay for a while since this came out. Maybe not since it came out in Japan, but I was aware that it came out in Japan, and it looked like a really good game. It looked really interesting, and I've seen some American breakdowns from IGN and stuff like that. I think IGN actually has already a review of it. It's like an 8.8. And it looks great. I'm actually really excited. I'm hopefully going to finish up Persona and then jump into that because it's really hard for me to play 2 JRPGs, but they're some of my favorite types of games.
You're not a veteran like myself.
Yeah, it's hard, man. The hours. But it looks really good.
You got to find that time.
It looks amazing. Yeah.
Space it out. I am super excited. I've played quite a bit of the Dragon Quest series. I think my favorite is Dragon Quest Joker, and that was because Dragon Quest it always started off as like a Pokemon-esque kind of game. Like you could catch the slimes, raise them, evolve them, yada yada yada. Mm-hmm. I remember playing it on the brick of what the original Game Boy was before the Game Boy Color came out. And since then, every new adaptation, every time it came to the West, I would check it out and just put 40 hours of my life into that thing. And Dragon Quest XI, I am super excited. I know they said that this is going to be the new take on JRPGs, but I think that's a very crude statement because I saw a game. Me and you watched the gameplay. It looks
like a solid JRPG. It doesn't look like it's doing anything super new. It just looks like a very well done, polished.
Yeah, I don't know why they feel like it's going to be something new or different, but I am still very excited for it. And what I think is really cool is the creator Yuji Horii. This dude is 64 years old, and he's like, yeah, I still just want to make video games. He doesn't care. He doesn't want to quit. And it was funny because I guess he was having a conversation with his composer Koichi Sugiyama, and who's 87 years old. Oh my God! Keep in mind, 30 years of this game. So these people have been playing or creating or working on this project for well into their adulthood. I can understand why you don't want to give it up, but he was having a conversation with him, and he was Yuji Horii was like, yeah, I can go for another 20 years.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And that's a lot of dedication.
It's respect. Yeah. I respect that 100%. That's so cool that he's so passionate and loves the series that he's I just want to keep doing it.
Yeah.
He loves his job.
I cannot imagine dropping off and just doing something else though. Because he's been doing all he knows is it's not all he knows because there have been some side projects like I said Chrono Trigger and other stuff that are similar
in the same
to that.
Vein.
Yeah, but Dragon Quest is his child, and that thing is 30 years old now. That is ridiculous. And of course, you get your dream team here for the Dragon Quest series. You got your same composer Sugiyama, you got the creator Yuji Horii, and of course your artist Akira Toriyama. This all is going to be one really dope project. And I know one of his other spinoffs was that had the artwork inspired. I don't know if Akira Toriyama worked on it, but it was definitely inspired by that Dragon Ball S style. Blue Dragon. Did you ever play that?
No, yeah, I've seen, again, something like I've seen. I'm always like, I'd love to play that, but
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Another JRPG with that same art style,
Exactly.
same Dragon Quest visualization, and I'm really excited. I think this will definitely be the next JRPG I dive into. I do want to play Ni no Kuni 2, but I don't have the time, like you said. There's so many things happening right now.
And Ni no Kuni 2, just one of my favorite parts of Ni no Kuni 1, I've said this so many times, it was the whole Pokemon aspect, the monster aspect, and that's gone in a sense.
Yes.
I know I'm not going to dog on it. It looks great. I've heard from people that have played it.
No, I heard the story was moving.
Yeah, I mean, so was the first one.
Yeah, that hurt me, though.
Yeah, the first one was a great story
touched.
as well. The first one was great. I had a great time with it, and I just not really have any plans to play the second one, to be honest.
Yeah. But I mean,
that's my fault. I think I'm losing out.
Yeah,
maybe.
But well, I guess at some point, like we all need a break from JRPGs, and that's when we move into more
Americanized RPGs,
open world games. That are RPGs or something. Like I know open world is like more and more famous. We have games like Skyrim, Fallout, and other stuff like that.
We also have games like Cyberpunk 2077.
That is the most popular one that everybody's talking about right now.
It looks
it's a sci-fi.
Amazing. So. Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge sci-fi fan.
It's like sci-fi Skyrim. Super
essentially, yeah. This, but a little more deep when it comes to dialogue and story. But obviously, it's a different generation of games. But one of my favorite sci-fi movies of all time, if you haven't seen it, you're missing out, is The Fifth Element. Bruce Willis, the chick from Resident Evil. I don't remember her name. Great movie. Watch that movie. It's hilarious. Chris Tucker is amazing in it.
Oh man, I forgot he was in that movie, and now like once you said that, all of his lines just flooded,
like poured into your head. Yeah. And just the world that they show briefly in the beginning of the movie just reminds me so much of Cyberpunk, and I just like I got
that scene with the cars.
Where the cars come up with the cops or the whatever the emergency crew comes up and saves the girl. I was just like shaking. I was like, oh my God, just aesthetically this game looks amazing. The cityscape looks amazing. It's like basically looks alive. One of my favorite parts, there's a 50-part demo, so I'm going to gush about this. There's a 50-minute demo.
Yeah, 50 part of it. Like, yeah, no. Every minute's a part.
It was for me. So I'm going to gush a little bit. One of my favorite parts is when she walks out into like a Times Square-esque of the city, and there's just different people like punks and business people and just casual, and they all have different clothes and different variants. Like yes, like the Mohawks kind of rendered the same. This isn't going to be the full game. I would like to see even more differences, but it's not like Grand Theft Auto where there's like maybe 10 different versions of characters.
Yeah.
But it seems like everyone had their own personality and possible backstory, and it was really interesting. The shooting mechanics, we can discuss that a bit. How do you feel about that?
I do like that it's fluid.
It's very fluid. That's a good description word. That's a word of the word of this conversation.
Fluid. Viscous.
I don't like that one.
You don't like viscous?
Looks very moist.
Okay. No. But yeah, I do like that the combat does seem like very fluid, like the shooting and the panning from the camera angles and just like the moving of the crosshairs and stuff like that. It is very fluid. Like it doesn't stutter. It just keeps going, and I like the sliding animation for when they actually like do when she like slides and then she shoots off that one dude's legs. I was like, oh,
with
man.
a shotgun.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, that's a trip to the doctor,
right? Yeah,
or your engineer or whatever the hell you guys got to go to. The art style or just the style of it looks a little too plain. In my opinion,
really, I think it's a little too like cartoony, like round. It's a little too rounded for me.
That's what it is. That's what I want to say.
I agree. I hope they give it a little sharper edges here and there. I think looks a little too similar to games that like Bethesda makes.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like the BioShock roundness to all the character design.
I don't want it to look like Borderlands.
Yeah, exactly.
Borderlands already has their own style.
Aesthetically, I think it's a little because Borderlands looks kind of like more comic-y.
Yeah, and that was like the whole point.
Yeah,
like I don't want it to look like that.
Yeah, maybe
they already got their thing. But like the issue with that right now is that it looks similar to like the midway of Borderlands and like Skyrim or something, or Fallout, like graphically.
I wish there was a little like more hard edges, but when it comes to guns, I'm really excited what they're going to do. I mean, they showed off that
so
smart
many
gun.
things that they can do.
That really seemed really cool. The destructible environments were a huge thing. It seemed like, like as she slid in, like
she shot out the windows,
or she shot out the wall and it shot through the wall and hit the guy. There's a lot of cool stuff. She went to her weapons locker and there was actually like spaces for melee weapons, and then later they show you, I don't know if you've seen the original trailer, remember there was a girl with like the blades coming out of her arms. They actually showed that in the gameplay on that, and there's like a whole stealth kind of system. Reminded me of Batman a little bit.
She was like mounted on the wall
and then disabled their guns and jumped down.
She had like heat vision kind of. I don't know, it was weird.
It was cool. It seems like they're going to go in the direction of like a lot of shooters do, where you can go through this game as stealth, or you can go to this game as guns blazing, and it seems like
there's different ways to approach the game.
Like just like we said, Skyrim-esque. A lot of choices, but I think even more interesting.
I only ever played as an archer.
Okay, well, you missed out on a lot of good stuff. But I think one of my favorite things, specifically, sorry, I said that so many times. Another one of my favorite things.
I like this one thing.
No, that's it. Was that it seems like there's even more choice. Like you could straight just end your game very easily by making the wrong choice. I kind of love that. She was pinned down by the gentleman that was way stronger than her. That was like worked for some like, how would I put it? Like some military black ops kind of group.
Oh.
They say as you're watching them before you go up to them, like they're way stronger than you. There's dialogue in the game to lead that. But when he pins you down and like jacks into you, everyone has like this thing they can jack into, and they put you through like a lie detector. It's really cool. Watch this. It's all 15 minutes. It's honestly really great.
It was like a weird lock picking system.
Yeah, it was really cool.
But through a person.
You like lock people. They lock picked you. But he points the gun at you, and you can actually pan your vision to the gun, and then this says like attempt to take the gun.
Yeah.
And then there's a narrator throughout it who gets kind of annoying, but he says that's basically a really bad decision because dialogue stated that this person's way stronger than you.
It's like voiced by Morgan Freeman, and this is when she knew she fucked up.
Yeah, I love that. I love how they're gonna allow you to fuck up so hard you just instantly die. Yeah. I want to see the scene where she tries to take the gun from him and just gets like blown away.
You think because of that element in the game that the game is going to be too handholdy?
No, I mean not at all. It's the opposite.
Right.
It's the opposite of handholding.
Yeah, but I'm saying like
you can make this stupid decision. Go for it. You want to go guns blazing at this huge base fortified like by 50 dudes that you've scanned? Go for it. Like I love that. Obviously hi, what's up, Dowell?
Hey, how's it going?
We're talking about Cyberpunk 2077, the 50-minute gameplay, but I think it's the opposite of handholding, and I love that. I think sometimes I felt like Skyrim was too easy. We are upset for a few reasons that we're going to get to later concerning the Jacksonville shooting. That's going to be like our main story for today, unfortunately. So we're going to start with some more fun stuff like Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah, so that's why we're going
to get into that.
Yeah.
So besides gameplay and choices, I think one of the downsides was the driving looks kind of like butt. Yeah. But I mean, it's not a driving game.
Well, yeah, I mean, like Skyrim was not a horse riding game, but
the horses were buttons, were pretty butt.
The horses would always walk away from you. Like at least, when I get out the car, I don't have to worry about the car driving.
They can climb mountains real good, though.
They can also break their legs very easily. No, if it wasn't for Shadow Mare,
it seemed like the way they were driving in very, very narrow corridors. I would like to see it open up a bit. Like I want to see a future freeway. Like I want to see some more stuff. But obviously, this is early gameplay. So
yeah. How do you feel about the camera? Like, do you mind that as first person, or do you prefer that to be third person?
No, of course not. I think it's actually one of the cooler things, especially coming from The Witcher, which was third person. I really like the first person thing because it seems like there's a huge thing on character creation, as in like
the character creation.
You can change probably like their genitals because it was all blurred out. I don't know, maybe not. It just seemed like very deep. Maybe I'm going a little too into it, but it just seemed like it was very deep. So it's kind of like it's a true role playing game.
Yeah.
How do you live your life every day in first person? So I love how when you're making these decisions, they want to make it feel like it's you.
Yeah.
You know?
A lot of people were complaining about like how the character creation is so in depth, but it's first person. But then like I remember me and you made that argument like but why do you do your hair every day? Why do you get dressed and all that stuff? Your life is in first person.
Yeah. And obviously, I'm sure in cutscenes you'll see your character. So Dal was asking, would you be able to explain that to me? I've not heard a lot about it. Cyberpunk 2077 is made by CD Projekt Red.
Yes.
Who made The Witcher? If you're not familiar with The Witcher, it's a really, really good RPG all the way around. Combat systems, great. Content is through the roof. It's like you could spend like 200 hours in the game. The DLC was very reasonably priced.
I easily spent 80 hours into the... I have all the DLC too, by the way. I easily spent 80 hours into like the first actual part of the game. Never beat it.
Yeah.
Did not do anything with the DLC. I was just running around the world, just getting lost in it.
So before we get... Without getting too much into that, this is not a sequel, but it's from the same developer. So...
Yeah.
They're making a new RPG based in a new sci-fi universe. It's going to be far in the future. Almost.
How big do you think this world
I
is
compare
gonna
it to Fifth Element. I'm hoping it's massive. I hope you go to different cities. So there's flying cars. They show like a smart gun that has homing things. It's very, very interesting. One of my favorite things they showed as well was the cyber mod. So how you upgrade yourself.
Witcher was one of the ones with the big cow monster, but you may be confusing that with Shadow of Colossus, I think.
I don't know.
Because Shadow of Colossus also had a big cow monster.
It definitely did.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure about The Witcher.
Yeah.
If it had a big cow monster, but...
Well, there was a cow monster.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a little bit of confusion, but as you were saying.
Yeah, the cybernetic mods. So it's like you can they upgrade her eyeballs, so they like cybernetic odds. And she has like cybernetic like blades that come out. She can upgrade those. So it's a very different upgrade system than magic and swordplay.
You don't simply just pick up weapons, or you don't pick up swordplay and stuff like that. Like, you do pick up guns after you disarm your foes, but the weapons and other things, like, it seems like they're focused and built into your character.
Yeah.
That's what I really like about it. Like, it forces you. Well, it doesn't necessarily force you, but you have the choice of focusing on your character versus like, I'm gonna go over here, jump in this lake, pick up this helmet. Now I can breathe underwater.
Yeah, exactly. I get what you're saying. So instead of like getting this gear, in essentially you are the gear.
Yeah, you are the gear.
And they even said there's even doctors you can find that are like black market doctors that'll get you like super like crazy gear that you couldn't find anywhere else.
What?
No, I'm pretty sure if you killed cows and rewind, a Cow King spawn.
Yeah, that was a bug in The Witcher.
I didn't know that.
Because there used to be like this bug back in The Witcher where if you kept killing these cows at this farm, it helped you level up super fast. Mm-hmm. And they came out with a patch saying like, no, still do it, but now a level 60 monster is going to come out and kill you.
That's right.
Yeah, so you couldn't do it anymore.
So they patched the bug with a monster.
Yeah, like you can still do it, but like you're getting punished. So yeah, that was The Witcher.
That sounds amazing, and that's why I'm so excited. I love CD Projekt Red.
Yeah. I like the idea of punishing the players for doing things, but it's also just like you still have the choice of doing it.
I think back in the day, Earthbound, if you played on a pirated NES, there's a code in the game that if the game sensed you were playing on a pirated NES, it would double the
Oh yeah, it made basically the game so much harder.
Yeah, what's it called? Interaction rate, like random
encounter rate.
Yeah, encounter rate for any enemies, and then when you got to the end of the game and beat the final boss,
it didn't just double it. It made it nearly impossible to walk 2 steps without getting to an encounter. That's what it was.
And then if you beat it, it died. It basically deleted your save and turned off right before the end. Yeah,
I'd be so mad.
I'm sure they have. CD Projekt Red has have they? I don't know. I'm not familiar with their whole catalog. Just these two, specifically.
Yeah, but
I think that's pretty much it.
Well, I did kind of want to talk about like because like this game's getting a lot of attention, good or bad. The bad is people were already talking about boycotting this game. The game's not even out yet, but it was like over something dumb. Yeah. It
was a tweet, right? CD Projekt Red made a tweet, and it was on the news and stuff. But basically, someone there was a picture of developers, and then someone said, "I can't wait for more, guys." And then CD Projekt Red, the Twitter, replied, "Are you assuming their gender?"
Yeah,
as a really old joke that is kind of unfunny at this point, but I think people would just like to get mad at everything.
Yeah, people took offense to that, and they were ready to start fires, man. But yeah, even though all this stuff got released, the crazy thing is that like I said, this game is being talked about, like good or bad, and the gameplay is one of the newest things. The director was Adam Badowski. epic last name, was very hesitant to release this. Like, he was super scared because, like, I get it because it's not finished.
It's early gameplay.
It's early gameplay, but he felt like a lot of people were just going to take this and just be like, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Like it, because I know that was an issue back in the day for like a month or two ago for the Call of Duty beta.
Yeah, that looked like butt.
Yeah, no, people already hated it, but it was like, it's a beta.
Yeah, it's true.
Like,
but I think it's a slightly different because it's Call of Duty, and that's a whole conversation I get into, and how that's like one of the most tired series in the gaming industry.
The core thing of the conversation is like, it's a demo. It's not the finished project. So give the game some slack. Like, the whole purpose of them releasing a demo or gameplay is so people can critique it. And then they give it, like, they get those things, they get it back, and then they're like, all right, let's fix these things, because these are the issues that people are having.
Yeah, I agree.
Like
I agree. I think you should give them a bit of slack to an extent. Yeah. I think you made the key point I think you made is they release it in order to get critiqued.
Yeah.
I don't think developers are releasing it and expecting zero critiquing, but going out and boycotting it and saying you hate it and going on Twitter and saying this game is garbage, I hate everything.
Yeah, like
I'm a troll.
But did you play it?
Bottom line, people go too far.
Yeah. And I think that is just like really ridiculous. Yeah. But yeah,
can't wait for Cyberpunk 2077. As a giant sci-fi fan, this game is literally everything I've ever wanted.
Yeah. And as we were talking about people being like upset and taking things a little bit too far,
this goes into the big story of
this goes into why we're super upset.
I'm sure everybody's heard. If you look at Hello Neighbor, then many betas, they did. The game has changed a lot.
Yeah.
Anyways, sorry.
Yeah, this goes into why we are upset. The Jacksonville shooting.
Yes,
in Florida.
That's where we're going.
The shooting had occurred during a Madden tournament.
Gaming tournament. That's why we're talking about it.
There were 2 casualties and 10 other people were injured.
It was. It's so crazy. It's just a conversation people don't want to have, but I think it's a really important conversation. I think the main point is mental health.
Yeah,
personally.
It's like, really, why did this happen? The shooter's name, by the way, was David Katz. He was age 24, a very young guy. And before he was arrested by the police, he actually ended up shooting himself. So we don't have to
Unfortunately,
worry.
3 people are dead.
Yeah, so unfortunately, 3 people have died from this. But it's still just like, a lot of people are just like, oh, well, screw that or whatever. But it was unnecessary. Like, deaths at events like these, they're happening more and more.
Whether a monster, he turned into a monster.
Yeah.
I really wish he was still alive just as much as not just as much, but I wish he was alive, and I really wish that didn't happen. But I think the biggest conversation here that we're not having is the mental health issue in America and in the world is people are, I'm going to get really upset here, is people are getting a hold of guns, but the guy was in a mental institution before.
Yeah,
he was on medication. He was on antidepressants. He had a history of mental health issues.
Of being placed into twice being hospitalized for psychiatric conditions.
Hospitalized twice, and that is my biggest issue. Is I know we have stricter laws here in California. That's where we live, but the problem is that if, in my opinion, if you're admitted to a mental institution one time, not let alone 2 times, and you're on antidepressants, where the side effects on these drugs are thoughts of suicide.
Yeah.
And psychotic episodes, and
even though these are the things that are supposed to be
a month before the shooting.
Within the month.
Within the month of the shooting, this dude goes out and buys guns legally in Florida, and I understand patient doctor whatever it's called, where you can't
patient doctor confidentiality.
Thank you for finishing my sentence. I totally get that, but when it comes to getting a hold of firearms, clearly it's a problem. It's a pattern. When you see most of the people that are doing these mass shootings are on medications, have been checked into mental institutions, and I think that's the biggest issue. I'm not going to tread on the guns kill people kill people. The bottom line is
he could have went in there with like a machete or something.
They both kill people, but I think the main cause of it is his mental health. Yeah. And I think we need to focus on helping people, and unfortunately that includes strengthening gun laws against, unfortunately, the people that aren't mentally ill. It's a pattern.
Well, I mean, like where we live,
it's crazy. No one's talking about this.
Yeah, where we live right now, it is actually a lot harder to get a gun. I know, like if you have a history of mental illness, they check you instantly, and they're just like, nope.
But
you're not getting a gun.
If you're checked in under a 5150,
yes,
which is a psychiatric thing. But if you're on antidepressants, you can still get a gun in California.
Yeah.
But if you are checked in under 5150, I believe that can affect your ability to get a gun. I think you can probably still get shotguns though as hunting guns. I'm not 100% sure. Like I said, I'm not like
we're not like gun specialists or anything like that.
Anything like that. I don't know gun laws, but I just think I usually don't ever talk about this, but since it has to do with the gaming industry, unfortunately, I feel like we have to comment on it a little bit, or I would like to.
Yeah.
It's messed up, man, and it's just. I mean, if you heard the audio, it's awful. I regret it, and it
was streamed live on Twitch. That's how I heard it. Mm-hmm. And but yeah, it's just crazy because like these things are happening more and more, and I think it's because like. Because nobody really knows like the motives of all these shooters. Like there's shootings in Vegas and all this stuff, but I think it's just because, like you said, it's mental illness, and mental illness is occurring more and more. It's never being addressed. His motive
was clear. I mean, he lost. Well,
actually,
he lost the day before at the same competition, didn't he?
Yeah, but they said like they don't know because the guy shot himself. We can't question him.
But he passed other patrons.
He was one. Yeah, he passed other patrons, and he clearly targeted gamers. It is shown all on through the camera footage.
Yeah,
so he clearly targeted.
He targeted people that were competing in the same thing that he competed in and lost in. So clearly, it was brought on by being upset, because he is upset, he doesn't react like a normal human being because he is mentally ill. As he had mental issues, and they probably weren't licensed. I'm not sure.
No, he legally bought the guns, and the
guns were bought legally.
One of the guns, he had 2 handguns. One of them had a laser sight equipped.
Yeah,
but he only fired one of them.
Yeah, they were all legally bought guns, and he was. He was doctor prescribed medications, and that is the pattern that's been happening. If you look into it, it's crazy. It's upsetting.
I think just like first off, it's ridiculous that all of this was caught on camera. I feel like it easily could have been avoided.
It's scary, and I think. Sorry, keep going.
Yeah, I think it like easily could have been avoided. So it's like security at these events is obviously becoming an issue, and they're gonna raise security. They've been making more and more. Like steps to prevent this. I know like back in Vegas during the country thing or the country concert to prevent the shooting or to prevent events like this, like now the do not disturb signs are totally like not a thing. Cause that's how they got away with it. They had a do not disturb sign and nobody went in those rooms. And if somebody had went in those rooms at that time, then things would have been prevented. But it's like they saw him on camera. He walked in. And they saw everything. And how did you get the guns into the event? Stuff like that. There was just
like if you look at where it was like a boardwalk, a bar kind of thing. So it was a very open aired.
Yeah, thing. It was a very open air thing. But it's just like because there's so many things that could have prevented this. There's so many things. To give you like this guy's history, apparently his parents were going through a divorce. And like that's one of the things that were super upsetting to him. I don't know really too much about David Katz, but it was just I just think maybe he didn't receive the proper help. There's mental illness is way too goddamn common.
It's really complicated as well. And I really hope
you don't know the circumstances.
I really hope that the people that need help get help. And So these young gentlemen who died, hopefully this isn't repeated, because I would like to take just a moment of silence for the 3 men who died, but specifically the 2 that were just completely victims.
It's a tragedy of the event in general.
It's horrible. It's awful. And as a person that loves cons and gaming conventions and meetups, it's scary. And what I was going to say earlier, I forgot my point, but Alana Pierce had a really good point. If you don't know who Alana Pierce is, she's ex-IGN now with Funhaus. She had a really good tweet I retweeted, but it was maybe this will be probably my last point on the subject is she said that people always comment that she's from Australia. People always comment that they don't want to go to Australia because there's snakes and spiders and everything. And she's stated, but as a person that's living in America, I'm more scared of going to gaming events events in general. I'm more scared of guns shootings that are possibly going to happen there than I am of snakes and spiders when I lived in Australia. Yeah. And it's all perspective, obviously. That's just her opinion. But I think it's just an interesting point from someone that is not an American.
Because like that's outside looking in. Like we live here and it was so like messed up is that this is our normal. People are starting to joke about it as like, oh, well, you're going to go here, probably don't get shot. I work at an event center, and that's one of the prime locations for shootings and stuff like that.
There was a shooting there, actually.
Yeah, there was one a while back, and then there was actually a bombing right next door.
Yeah.
And my cousin, my kid cousin, just recently competed at Evo back in Vegas, and like there were so many people there, and like thankfully, like nothing happened.
Yeah.
I'm so glad, but because it was like in Vegas, there was like that.
There's always that
concert,
thought
like,
in the back of your head. Yeah.
Like now, because I like Comic-Con, I like Anime Expos and all these other events, but now I'm always like hesitant to go. Like, and then you went to a show not that long ago.
I go to shows and concerts all the time.
And you're just like,
it's always in the back of my head.
Do I want to go?
I have an escape plan every time.
Am I willing to get shot? Let's go see Citizen or whatever.
Again, that was our moment of silence. I forgot to give a moment of silence for those gentlemen, but rest in peace. Thank you, Doe. I agree. It's super unfortunate.
Yeah, it was. I just feel that these things are too common, and
it's becoming a pattern. That's all I'm saying. I'll leave it there. It seems like it's a pattern. Yeah. Maybe I'm not seeing it. We're not going to discuss gun laws. This isn't a political podcast. Yeah. We just wanted to discuss the story a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm still a little upset.
So no, we are upset. I'm very upset. You can probably hear it in the tone of my voice, but we'll just go ahead and leave the subject and go on to lighter news and just start questioning things, because I would like to say what this segment is called Why and What. Because there's a lot of things that are
why.
Yeah, there's a lot of games that are coming out that nobody asked for, and what is the purpose of this? Onimusha.
Oh.
If you're not familiar with Onimusha, it was basically like if you've ever played like a classic Resident Evil, like 1 or 2, picture that with samurais. Fixed camera angles, like the controls are stiff, and
And a story very similar to Resident Evil 4, where instead of the president's daughter, it's like the prime minister's daughter of China.
The emperor.
The emperor's daughter,
Japan. Yeah. Because samurais are Japanese.
Yes, my bad.
But yeah, and you're fighting like undead warriors too, but you're just cutting them down.
It was like one of those games that you play and you're like, oh, this is cool. This is a good game. And then they're like, oh, there's an HD remake, and you're like, no one asked for that. Did you ask for that? I played the game. It was a good game. It was a solid game. I liked it, but I was like, I don't know anybody that asked for Onimusha like HD. Some guy, I guarantee you, there's some dude who was just sitting in his room when that announced, and he was just like, yeah. But he was probably just like that one guy.
No, what's funny is like, I actually owned Onimusha for PlayStation 2 back when it originally came out, and I lost it after I beat it, and after that, like I lost it, and I found the case, and I was like, I don't really mind that I lost this.
I played it once. It was cool.
And it's not a bad game.
It's not a bad game. It's a good game.
Yeah, it was actually, I had fun playing it, but like after I beat it, I was like, all right, I'm done with that. Let's play something else. And I don't know if it's, because it's the re-release is titled Onimusha Warlords. And it clearly showed gameplay of Onimusha 1. I don't know if it's like an HD collection.
It definitely was HD remastered, you could tell.
Yeah, no, but I don't know if it was a collection.
Oh.
Because like they have 3 or 4 titles.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, I mean,
I don't
get
think
this.
So.
It's cool that you come out with like your re-releases and stuff like that, but I just feel like there's
What's
a better
price point? Like,
there's a better way to do that.
Or there's just better games to remake. What is up with this like age of remake? It's crazy.
I don't know.
It's like this romantic. It's like they were romanticizing all these older games. Like I think your next story is Shenmue.
Yeah, Shenmue is.
It doesn't hold up. It doesn't hold up at all.
Shenmue was not a good game. I don't care what anybody says.
When it came out, Shenmue was groundbreaking. So I understand the romanticized version of Shenmue.
I get that. I'll sympathize with you on that.
The fact is it's romanticized. The game clearly does not hold up. If you go back and play it, it's not good. Now, Shenmue 3, it's hard to argue because it was crowdfunded.
Yeah.
So clearly people wanted it.
Yeah.
Me personally, as my opinion, I'm not really that excited. I think you should go play Yakuza.
You know what was also crowdfunded was Yooka-Laylee, and that game did not hold up either.
That was kind of a disappointment.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But I think if you want a game
give me a true Banjo-Kazooie 3.
Just play Yakuza, play Persona. Those are quality games that are based in Japan and also have a lot of choices you can
I would
make.
say just play Yakuza definitely.
Yeah.
But like Shenmue was a joke. Like the game was a joke. Like fans are already working on constant, like, because you know how we have like Skyrim remastered, and what is cool about these remasters? I think Skyrim and Fallout 4 were like the best ways to do remasters is because you put it in the hands of the fans.
Fallout 4 didn't have a remaster, by the way.
Oh, not Fallout 4, my bad. But like just Fallout in general. Like you put these games in the hands of the fans. Like Final Fantasy 15 got a release on Steam and stuff like that, and the freedom to mod it. And they can do something like inspiring, like just.
Oh, so you're talking about just mods? Like,
yeah, just like mods in general, like games that are, but like Skyrim was one of the best ones that I could think about because that was a legit re-release and a remaster. But you put it in the hands of the fans, and they do like some groundbreaking stuff. Like if you want to say like Shenmue is groundbreaking, like just put it in the hands of the fans. And look, they already started doing that.
It basically that's why I love PC gaming, by the way. But it gives these games a second life.
Yes.
And that's what I love is like Shenmue may be, average HD remake. I haven't looked at reviews or anything like that because I don't really care. But I think you're right. I'm sure if I dove into some of the mods, I'd have a really great time.
Yeah, just stuff that you can do.
Just like if you look at Fallout 4 mods or New Vegas mods, and they're a blast. And like they change the lighting, and it's very, very detailed. And that is, you're right, is probably the best part of getting these games out onto PC platforms.
That is the best way to do a remaster.
And I think I think they should just.
But it's like when you. Deadly Premonition.
Isn't that that horror game? I've never played it. I've heard so.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
I've heard of it, and I've always wanted to do a let's play of it because I'm really.
We got to do more let's plays of horror games
because I'm such a baby on horror games, and I think that one there's like a bunch of endings, right?
I'm not.
There's a bunch of endings in that one.
I'm the worst person to watch.
Yeah. It's all based off of like a choice and stuff. You can just literally just let your friends die. Yeah. I've seen let's plays of it. Yeah.
But yeah, it's like. Re-releasing all these new remasters. Onimusha Warlords, I think, is one of the worst ideas. Is that here's this game that we just played. Fucking have fun with it.
It's a bit of a cash grab,
but it's stuck too. It's like it's a cash grab by Capcom. Like Okami is, I think. The worst.
I think I got Deadly Premonition wrong. I'm sorry.
But yeah, Okami is like the worst example for re-releases. Like Okami's on like every system now. You know that, right?
Okami?
Yeah, Okami, the one with the dog.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that game's on like every system.
That's a good game though.
It's a good game, but like why every time a new system comes out, I guarantee you Okami's going to be on it. Like, why? It's not like you can change anything about the game. It's not like they added anything to the game. They just made it look slightly better. And which, for a game with that kind of art style, it doesn't matter. You don't need to make the game look better. Just make it. It looks like somebody took a paintbrush to your TV screen, anyways. But it's not like they change it to where you can like manipulate the gameplay. No, you are playing the set game. They put it in front of you, and you're stuck with it.
Yeah,
stop it.
I'm sorry, Dow. I'm gonna have to disagree on this point. Good point. I would actually have been asking for a remaster for this game. Is Jet Set Radio?
Jet Set Radio as a remake or as a not remake. My bad. As a remaster. No, Jet Set Radio Future.
That's what I'm saying. I would like. Actually, you're right. I don't want an HD remake. I want a third Jet Set Radio.
Just if they re-release Jet Set Radio Future, I wouldn't actually mind.
Maybe,
but at the same time, add more to it.
I don't think that game holds up. I'm sure the controls are straight butt.
Oh yeah, no.
I'm sure the controls are
they're way too strict.
Yeah. But if they completely from the ground up made a new Jet Set Radio, I think it would work. Yeah. And then I think I'm super romanticizing that game as well, which a lot of people do.
Yeah, no, nostalgia.
Nostalgia. As a huge music fan outside of gaming, one of my favorite parts of Jet Set Radio, which you can't ruin really, is the soundtrack. Right. The soundtrack is literally like one of my favorite game soundtracks ever. It's the first time I've ever heard the Gorillaz. It's the first time I've heard a lot of like 90s hip hop or 90s inspired hip hop as well. Yeah. And that you can't change. Like that you can't change with the game. That doesn't change over time. But as far as the gameplay, I'm sure it's shit. I would like a new one. I think that's a good biggest point when it comes to remasters is in a sense I'd rather a sequel a lot of times depending on the situation or from the ground up remake, kind of like Resident Evil 2, which looks amazing because it's from the ground up.
That's from the ground
up. It's on a whole new engine. It's going to actually be enjoyable to be honest. Like
I think what is cool about Resident Evil 4 for it being like a remake, or not a remake, a remaster, is that they added to it. They gave you like the everything that you couldn't get in the PS2 version.
That's a bit more modern of a game.
Yeah.
Like I think
it's a bit more modern, but it's like 14 years old.
Like PlayStation 1 games are hard, and back are kind of hard to go back to sometimes. Like we were playing Metal Gear Solid 1.
Yeah. No,
those controls are so bad.
Yeah, no, it was ouch.
It's still fun, but it's like it's bad.
It's
so
painful to stomach.
It was hard for me to try to continue to play the game longer than an hour.
Yeah, it was like literally us playing Kingdom Hearts 1 after we played all the other Kingdom Hearts games.
That one's a little less frustrating.
Yeah,
it's just slow. It's just really slow.
You weren't playing it. You were watching me play.
You don't know my life.
Yeah, the controls were not in your hands.
I don't think I've ever played Gone. Is that Good Home or Gone Home?
Good Home. I've never played it.
I never played Good Home. I think Gone Home, yeah. But
yeah, for my last part of why and what, and this is more of the what. Streets of Rage 4 got announced.
When you said that, when I saw that in your notes, I was just like, "Yo!" I mean, I was like, "Is that one like side-scrolling fighting game?" That I played as a kid that I vaguely remember.
Like Simpsons or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was the best one.
But it was like Streets of Rage was like, just what? Like, what was it called?
You know, I'm kind of down with that one.
What was it called in Japan?
I don't know.
Burning something, Burning Fist or something like that.
That sounds way cooler.
But like what? Like and then they like everybody's older. Axel's like got a beard. He pulled a Ryu. He'd like disappeared, came back, and now this dude has a beard. And what's her name? The Blaze something. I don't know. But like, where did this game come from?
I'm kind of down. I mean, when it comes to indie games, I'm probably wrong because there's so many great indie games, but there's not a lot of like side scrolling beat 'em ups.
Yeah,
maybe I'm saying there may be a market for it.
The Switch.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it needs to go to.
I would play that on my Switch. Yeah.
My favorite video game is Castlevania. Castlevania Symphony of the Night, to be specific. I actually have tattoos of it and everything. Sergio, what's your favorite video game?
My favorite video game, probably.
You can only pick one.
Jet Set Radio? No, I'm just kidding.
The one game we've been like talking shit about.
Honestly, Ocarina of Time. I'm going to go with an easy one. Ocarina of Time was like the first time I ever played a game.
We need more Zelda posters.
I know, we do. We have one, but it's actually behind you.
Yeah, it's my Zelda t-shirt that we ripped up.
Yeah, honestly, that was the first time I ever played a game that like blew my mind. I played a lot of games as a kid, but that game I was just like, crack the glass, and I was just like, oh crap, like I want to play games forever.
Yeah, but looking back on it, that game got a lot of flack, but yeah, that is pretty much it. Was there anything else you wanted to bring up?
No. Unfortunately, we're about at an hour. That's about as long as this podcast goes for.
Yeah, so thanks for whoever came in and listened.
Thanks, Dow. Hit us with that follow if you don't mind.
Yeah, we'll be doing this like every other day and whatnot, but
every Monday and Thursday
for sure.
For the most part, we're streaming it, and then usually the day after, if you're listening to this on the podcast apps, we're on most of them. I would recommend Castbox for Android users.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
But that was our Game Club episode titled "We Are Upset." Thank you for tuning in. You guys got to hear why exactly we were upset. It was a little bit of a touching episode for us, but thank you for listening. And
thanks, Dow.
Yeah.
I totally missed your notification. I didn't turn my speakers on apparently.
Oh yeah, no, you did not. But yeah, thanks everybody. And like Sergio said, that was our podcast, and we are the Fan Addicts. And
follow us on Twitter and YouTube and Instagram, and I think that's it. Oh, we have a Discord, but we don't update it so much. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're sorry. We're not as active.
Feel free to troll our Discord.
Yeah, but that was us, and that was our episode. We Are Upset, and my name was Shelby.
My name's Sergio.
And check you guys later.
Peace.